All right, 40 volt versus 18 volt Makita. So this is one of my guys. I bought them. This is the Xgt 14. I haven't used this one before, but it just has more settings, a little bit more RPMs and impacts than this one. I've been running the Xgt 13 for probably 5 years, and it's been great for set building and woodwork. It's no frills, it's just a variable trigger. It's great. It has some scratches and been beat up a little bit, but no problems at all. This one I've been running for almost a year now, the 40 volt impact driver. It's my favorite. I have a Milwaukee impact driver as well and a few others. The lights on this are really good. I have a 4 amp hour is usually what I carry on this, because when I'm using it, it's usually to build sets for theaters, and we could do probably hundreds and hundreds of 3-inch star-bit wood screws in a day. And so it's nice to just put a big, strong, powerful battery to drive those screws in. This by far has the most settings of any impact driver I've ever used, which I love, and it's super easy to change. There's a button right above the trigger, and as you can see, when I hit the button, it goes through the settings, which is super nice, so you don't have to take your finger off. You can just go like that to adjust it. The RPMs and the power on the 40 volt are much greater than the 18. The size is quite drastically different, but it's mainly battery size. The actual length of the head for the Xgt 13 to the 40 volt is not much different, but if you look at the actual stats on the side, they are quite different. So I'll just give you a second to look at everything. You can take a picture of it or whatnot. So on impacts, the range is from 0 to 36 on the 13, and from 0 to 4,400. So it's 800 more impacts a minute. And then RPMs, it's 300 RPMs more than, but I would say the actual power, the torque that it has is much greater. I've been able to drive screws into concrete, no problem. Really thick lumber, no problem at all. So I have right here the Xgt Hammer Drill. It has multiple settings. So for screws, you can adjust everything down here. For your speed, you unlock it and then you can adjust. Makes it great. The hammer drill, driver, drill, you know how it goes. Speed 1, speed 2, and then you just have those 3 settings. So it's not like a normal chuck where you have like 1 through 16. It's just these 3, and then it's a variable speed trigger. This thing is so crazy fast. I have a Milwaukee hammer drill, but I so much rather use this. 39,000 a minute for impacts or hammers, and then 2,600 RPM. So I think it does absolutely fantastic. I have had some problems with the chuck on this. It's taken a beating, as you can tell. But all my 40 volt tools are just around a year old for the most part. I have 36 volt blower, a 40 volt blower, 36 volt weed eater, 18 volt trimmer. I just got that this week, got that a couple weeks ago, I've had that for a while. And then I have more Makita tools in here. This 18 volt orbital sander is absolutely fantastic. I have this here, and then at a couple theaters, this Xgt Sawzall is absolutely amazing. I use it for all sorts of things, cutting stumps and whatnot. That's a Xgt circular saw. It's fantastic. This is my drill, 18 volt drill. So you can kind of see the size comparison. This is just as old as this 13 that I have. So this has been with me for like 4 or 5 years. Just has the battery meter down there. It's great, no problems. But this is my go-to, and this is my go-to. This is way lighter, way easier to maneuver. This is probably a pound heavier, probably. And this thing is just super heavy, but I like the heavier tools. I beat my stuff up, and when I use it as fast as I possibly can, especially when we're taking sets apart. It can usually be done in one night, and you're taking out hundreds, if not a couple thousands of screws in a very short period of time. So having faster RPMs is the way to go, with more power, so there's no stoppage or anything. If you go full, if you pull this trigger as hard as you can with a 3-inch star bit, it comes right out. With this one, it could take a second or two. So this is way, way, way faster. Driving screws, this is much faster, but it's almost too much to drive it at full speed because it goes in so fast you're gonna split the wood or sink it too far. So, but that's the impact drivers and drills.